All right, everybody, this is going to be a really short video, but it's in a way kind of going to be a tutorial. Like, it's not exactly perfect or how I want it to be, but I'm going to make it anyway. If you ever find yourself struggling against large Imperial battle groups, like in my case, these 4 Star Destroyers, which are escorted by an escort carrier and a victory cruiser, then if you're playing as the Rebels, just build starfighters. I'm not kidding. Build literally swarms of these damn things. They make capital ships look like tissue paper, and I'm not even kidding. I had a couple of U-Wing squadrons here as well, but we really didn't have enough, frankly. I had about 170 population worth of starfighters. I don't know how many survived. I haven't actually lost a full squadron of them yet. I've mostly just lost one of the full squadrons of U-Wings, and this other one is just down to the one individual unit, which kind of sucks, but you know. We're gonna get back to the fray in a minute. I just had to retreat out of the battle just to get healed up a little bit. So if you ever find yourself struggling against these large Imperial battle groups or whatever, literally just do what I'm doing. Literally build massive swarms of starfighters, and while some will die in the process, it's very hard for Imperial fleets to counter these. Star Destroyers really lack a ton of anti-starfighter capabilities, and while some shots may get lucky, you will lose some squadrons from time to time, it's very hard for the Imperials to actually literally counter this kind of strategy. Unless they get to those late game eras where they're building Lancers and all that kind of stuff, that's a little different. Then they have something they can actually escort a fleet with, per se. But for the most part, it's literally almost impossible for a big Imperial battle group consisting of a lot of these larger individual like starships like Star Destroyers. It's hard for them to counter it. So yeah, like literally just do this, and I'm not even kidding, and you will win most of your heavyweight battles that you're struggling against. You cannot combat the Empire, at least early game, mid game, with just capital ships all the time. Like, it's hard to build capital ships with the Rebels. They're very expensive. Things are a lot easier for the Imperials, but that's why you just don't do that. You just literally build massive amounts of starfighters. Then you just rip apart their subsystems with said starfighters, and it's literally just a cakewalk. Like, what I'm doing right here is insane. I've disabled all 4 of these Star Destroyers. I destroyed a victory cruiser. I destroyed the escort carrier early because it has anti-starfighter capabilities. But yeah, now we're just able to just completely destroy these things. Like, large swarms of starfighters can be expensive, but they are almost always going to be more beneficial than building a fleet of cruisers to combat the Empire. It just does not work. It literally is impossible to combat the Imperials in a head-to-head engagement with capital ships. They will 99% of the time absolutely win most of those engagements. Unless you're just good with your management and you've got a well-rounded fleet, you know, that's different. But starfighters are harder for them to hit. You know, they're small, they're nimble, etc., and they don't field enough of their own starfighters to actually counteract the sheer number that you're going to send their way. It's literally impossible for them to counteract this many in some cases. Unless you got like a fully dedicated starfighter fleet, which the AI will more than likely never build, because that can lead to a lot of spam issues and whatnot. We've seen that in plenty of different mods for Empire War. This strategy alone is just ridiculous. Like, you literally can obliterate an Imperial fleet if you just know how to use your starfighter management properly. It took me a minute to kind of get through that mindset because I'm so used to Empire War where you just build a crap ton of frigates and you just kind of go from there, or cruisers depending on the mod or whatever. You know, so many mods just don't really try to separate the Rebels from the Empire. They put them on par, kind of. And you know, that can really hurt your ability to critically think. This doesn't take a whole lot of brain power, but when you do employ these tactics, you literally almost cannot like lose a battle. You lose starfighters in the process, but what's losing a $900, $800 fighter squadron versus losing like a 17,000 credit frigate, you know, or cruiser or whatever, you know? We decimated a large battle group with this, and they're more than likely going to have their ground troops on the way to Obligado Ray. And in the process, we lost what? 2 Z-95 squadrons and 2 U-Wing squadrons. That's barely 2,000 credits to replace, and even then, that still really doesn't matter. But for this, that's insane. So, use your fighters. They're effective. They're worth it. And that's really all I got to say on this little short tutorial. Another thing to note, make sure you capture Nimbon. It makes Y-Wings cheaper. Make sure you capture Freyja. It makes all your Z-95, U-Wing squadrons, and X-Wing squadrons exponentially cheaper. It gives them all some kind of discount. Make sure you capture Audemars as early as you humanly can for the Rebellion. You can put up to 3 fighter facilities here, and fighters are 5% cheaper all over the galaxy. So just think about that. You can build swarms of these damn things here alone. And then as a final note, make sure you place your early like fighter facilities as far back away from Imperial territory as you can, because I mean, these things are so damn crucial. It's not even funny. Like I said, my philosophy used to be try to make a very well-rounded fleet in the process of combating the Empire. But that kind of changed when I really discovered that you can just kind of break them with making starfighters in massive swarms. So it's worth it. Try out these strategies. Trust me, they'll work out and they'll help your rebel playthrough a lot more.